All right, we are live. Welcome to another episode of the Jimbo Nolan podcast, episode 61. We got a lot to discuss today. Yankees just won their fifth out of their last six games. Another win for them, so that's very good. They're first in the American League East right now, ahead of the Baltimore Orioles. They're going off in their last 10 games, 7-3. Garrett Cole, nice little four starts for him in his last four. So we're going to be talking about that. The Yankees pitching staff is actually doing pretty good as of late. Bullpen-wise, a little shaky here and there, but overall they've done very well. I would actually say more. I would actually say better than some Yankees fans think. Aaron Boone definitely does have to make some adjustments, and you can definitely see he is. Jake Cousins getting a little bit more opportunities. He has a 1.8 ERA in 27 games. Juan Soto struggling a little bit too for the Yankees, even though the Yankees did get that win today. He was hitless in that game. He's batting 200 last five, so we're going to be talking Soto as well. Judge with his 1,000th hit of his entire career, 51 home runs on the year as well. It's the third time in his entire MLB career that he's hit 50 home runs, being the fifth MLB player to do so, in fact. So Judge, we're going to be discussing if he's having a better season than he did in 2022, where he broke records and hit 62 home runs. Well, he's already got 51, so he's 11 away. He might do it. Who knows? A lot of baseball left. Well, actually not that much. About a month and a half left in the season. So we'll see if Judge can get those 11 home runs done. But 50 home runs for the third time in his career, fifth MLB player in history to do that. Judge, phenomenal. Is he one of the best in his generation? I would say so. I mean, you got to say Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, they're up there, but I would say Judge is the best. So yeah, we're gonna be talking that. But the Mets, we got to get into the Mets. Split in the series with the San Diego Padres, heading to Arizona tomorrow. They got Sean Manaea lined up to start, then Severino. So we get lucky with the starters that we got. David Peterson. I mean, I wish he could throw against Arizona because he's been phenomenal. He only allowed one run against the Padres in his most recent start, improving his record to 8-1 on the year with a 2.85 ERA. So David Peterson having the year of his career right now, proving that he's a legit starter in this rotation going forward. He's solidified himself as, I'd say, the most consistent starter on the Mets right now. David Peterson is lighting it up. He's lighting it up on the year. Like I said before, look at his numbers right on the screen. 8-1, 2.85 ERA. He's not striking out a lot of batters. He's only started 15 games. So it's not like he's like Sean Manaea has started, I believe, 25 so far. Severino's also up there as well. So he's also been the most consistent pitcher. And then not to mention, too, another young pitcher for the Mets who's having a great year, Jose Butto. Doing a little bit differently, doing it out of the bullpen, but he's having a great year. He is. So the Mets' young arms, they're getting the job done. Peterson, who was once a first-round pick, finally living up to the potential that he should have always lived up to. And you know what? He's a lefty. We need that in this rotation with Manaea. So we got two good left-handers in this playoff push. So if we do get to the postseason and Peterson's throwing good, Manaea's throwing good, because Sean Manaea, he's having a great year as well, 9-5, 3.48 ERA. I mean, Paul Blackburn, he's going on the IL, but, I mean, he's really the only guy that I was really concerned about. Jose Quintana, he's been up and down all year, but he had a great start in his most recent start. Paul Blackburn, since he's been here, 5.18 ERA in 5 starts. He has not been a good trade addition. So Stearns, he's done a lot of good things so far in his first year with the Mets, but Paul Blackburn has not been one of them. I never wish injury upon anybody, but this IL stint, hopefully he can come back and actually pitch well, because we do need him to pitch well, especially with guys like Kodai Senga and Christian Scott still out. And we don't know even if they're coming back or when they're coming back. So, yeah, but you got to give credit where credit is due to David Peterson. He's been the most dependable guy since he's joined the rotation this season. 2.85 ERA from this kid. How's he doing it? I don't know because he's not a power pitcher. For sure not a power pitcher. He does walk a lot of batters. He has like 37 walks and 15 starts. That's over like 2-3 a game. And he's not really out here throwing 6-7 innings each game. I mean, he has been doing it as of late every now and then because, I mean, he's proven each time he goes on the mound that, Jesus, my dishwasher, man, making a loud-ass noise. But David Peterson, every time he goes on this mound, he's been proven that he should be a part of this rotation going forward, maybe even next season. He's that good this year. He is that good. Definitely unexpected. Nobody thought he was going to do this, but he's having a great year. And then before we do get into Sean Manaea, Luis Severino with back-to-back great starts. I mean, going to the doing the complete game the other in his 2 games ago, and then only 5 innings, but only 1 earned run allowed in those 5 innings in his most recent start. And we got Manaea and Severino going up against Arizona Diamondbacks in a very important series. We split against San Diego. So not so bad, but we do need to get up in the standings. I believe right now we're 2.5 games back of the wild card. I'm just going to fact check myself on that one because the Braves did just win today. I believe they were smoking earlier. So let's see. NL wild card standings updated. So don't believe the graphic actually right now because the Mets are still 2.5 games back. Atlanta 70 and 60, Mets 68 and 63. So we do got some work to do. But the pitching with Severino, Sean Manaea, David Peterson, they've been great. Jose Quintana, we need him to get going. And then realistically, I don't know what we're going to do with Paul Blackburn going on the IL. Like, we do have some options, I believe. But it's tough. It's slim pickings for the Mets right now. I would give Jose Butto a shot. I mean, overall on the year, you look at Jose Butto's numbers out of the bullpen, he's been phenomenal. He started 7 games this year, but he's 5-3 this year across 66 innings this year. He's got a 2.59 ERA with 69 strikeouts across those 66 innings. So Butto, I think he's a guy who you seriously got to look at to potentially be a starter. I think it was in early July when they gave him the bullpen role. And he has been phenomenal. He's been a very important piece in the bullpen, but right now we do need someone to take that rotation spot because the Mets are just plummeled. But Tyler McGill, apparently he's the favorite, I believe, to take the rotation spot. Mendoza said that he is the favorite. So we'll see. We'll see what does happen. Tyler McGill, he wasn't having too bad of a season before he did hit the IL. But then again, overall, I feel like every year McGill has a few great starts and then a bunch of terrible ones. Overall in the year, he's got a 5.17 ERA. He's a guy who I would rather come out of the bullpen, to be honest. So I would rather see him kind of go to the pen and Butto get that opportunity in the rotation because I feel like Butto's a guy who's got a high upside. Yet then again, Butto's been so great out of the bullpen. So you got to wonder, like, if you do take him out of the bullpen, does that really affect the bullpen that much? Because he's been one of the best guys. And speaking of the bullpen, the Mets bullpen has been good. Daniel Nunez, he comes back 1.2 scoreless innings in his return. So you love to see that. Danny Young, he had hitless. He was hitless against San Diego Padres in 2 appearances as well. So he's a guy who's got a 3.1 ERA on the year with the Mets. So, the Mets got good options. Edwin Diaz, he got roughed up in a recent outing of his, but overall he's been pretty reliable. 3 earned runs overall since he's returned from the injured list this season. So Diaz, he's been good. I would say he's been good, even though with his recent fluster that did cost us a game. But with Danny Young, Daniel Nunez, Jose Butto, hopefully Sean Reed-Foley can come back. He was dominant before he went down. So the Mets got guys in the bullpen. The bullpen is good. The bullpen is very good. So it's really what you got to look at on the Mets is that starting rotation, because it's concerning in some areas. You really got three guys who I think you can depend on, and realistically too, because Severino every now and then does get roughed up, and really, so does Sean Manaea. So they all get roughed up every now and then. Paul Blackburn, when he does come back, I don't even know if I want him in the rotation. Like I said before, 5.18 ERA in 5 starts since he's been a Met. Not a good trade addition for David Stearns there. But, it's really the rotation that's going to be the most important aspect, the most important area of the Mets down the stretch. Because if like you saw in David Peterson, when he improved his record to 8-1, it feels like every time he's out there, the Mets are doing well. Sean Manaea, 9-5 on the year. Like, we need Peterson, Severino, and Manaea, and yes, Jose Quintana, who's been up and down, an ERA over 4, I believe, right now. Let's fact check me there. Jose Quintana's numbers. Why did I not write his numbers in my notes so far today? 4.36 ERA in 26 starts, 140 innings out of him. So he's been durable 100%, but at the same time, inconsistent as hell. And his most recent start against San Diego, he was very well. Pitched amazing, actually. 6.1 innings, 4 hits allowed, no earned runs allowed. But against Baltimore, he allowed 7 runs. Against Oakland, he allowed 4. Against Seattle, he allowed 5. Against Los Angeles Angels, he allowed 3. So Quintana, up and down all year long, because he did have a good stretch in July. Against Washington, no runs allowed across 7 innings. Against Washington again on July 9th, no earned runs over 7 innings. July 14th, 5.2. Oh, he let up 5 runs actually against Colorado. But against the Yankees on July 23rd, 5 innings, 1 earned run. And then against Minnesota, 6 innings, 1 earned run. So he had a very good July, but August has not been too well for Jose Quintana. So up and down all year, we need him to get going, because he's a guy, when you look at like his numbers last year, they were great when he came back from the injured list. But this year, not so great. So we need Quintana to get going, because we need at least 4 guys. Tyler McGill, I'm not confident. Like I said before, he's got an ERA over 5 on the year. So with him coming back, I'm not too confident. If you pull Jose Budo out of the bullpen, is it going to affect the bullpen that much? I don't know, but I feel like Jose Budo would definitely be the best option to take that 5th rotation spot right now. He's been great all year. And then put McGill in the bullpen. That's the guy you got to replace Budo with. And then hopefully when Christian Scott or Kodai Senga does come back, you can have Budo. And if Tyler McGill's doing great in the bullpen, that's another great arm you have in the bullpen with Danny Young, Dendale Nunez. If Sean Reed Foley comes back, Edwin Diaz, like I said before, even though he had the little cluster the other night, he's only allowed 3 earned runs total since July. I think since June, actually. So you can fact check me on that one. But the Mets bullpen has been great. It's been great. It's been one of the main reasons they're in this playoff race. So it's really the starting pitching you got to look at. So Severino, Manaea, Peterson, they got to keep going. And especially against Arizona, tomorrow night, Sean Manaea is on the bump. And then overall in the year, like I said before, 3.48 ERA, 9-5. Game 2, we got Severino on the bump. And then who we got game 3? Let's take a look. We got Paul Blackburn. No, he's not pitching. Paul Blackburn would have been lined up to start, but I don't know why it's still saying he's the projected starter, because he is out. Maybe you give Jose Budo that start if you don't. We don't see Jose Budo. I think maybe we see him. Who knows? Maybe David Peterson on short rest. Who knows? I would love to see Peterson throw against Arizona. Give us our 3 best starters against Arizona, because we need to beat the Diamondbacks badly. Because as much as I want to jump over the Braves, I want to jump over Arizona. I want to jump over San Diego. Like, I want breathing room. But yep, Mets bullpen reliable all year, and another player that's been very reliable all year is Francisco Lindor. And before we get into the Mets offense overall, I want to just dive into Francisco Lindor because Lindor, his numbers overall in the year, they're great. And I think as long as his batting average continues to rise, because the home runs are there, the stolen bases are there, the OPS, it's there, 826 OPS, 269 batting average, 27 home runs, 78 RBIs. He's one of the best offensive shortstops, if not the best offensive shortstop in the National League, in the MLB this year. I mean, Gunnar Henderson and Bobby Witt Jr. are definitely up there, but Lindor is also up there with them, guys. Let's be real. And his defense, I could say that he is the best defensive shortstop in the National League right now. I mean, you look at errors rise. Lindor's got less than 12 or less than 13. I believe only 11 actually on the year. Ellie De La Cruz got well over 20. And we consider him a great shortstop, and he is a great shortstop. But Lindor, 11 errors. This guy is phenomenal. He's one of the best shortstops in the game, if not the best shortstop in the game. And this season, he's been arguably the best player in the National League. Shohei Ohtani, yes, he's having a phenomenal year too. 41 home runs, 94 RBIs, 993 OPS, 292 batting average. But then again, does he play defense? No. Lindor's elite shortstop play, is it enough? Is it enough to give him that edge? I'd say, yeah, it's definitely going to give him some points. But realistically, what does Lindor need to do? He needs to do a few things to win the MVP. And let's go over it. One, the Mets need to make the playoffs. So the Mets, they've been one of the best teams in baseball since June 1st. Top 5 in MLB. Lindor has been one of the main reasons, if not the main reason why. So that needs to continue. The Mets need to keep climbing the ladder in the wild card standings. They've been slipping as of late, actually. They had the wild card spot just a few weeks ago. They need to get that back, and they need to retain it so they can get to the playoffs. That needs to happen if Lindor wants to win the MVP this season. 2, Lindor's offensive numbers, they need to continue to rise. The power numbers are there. They are there. We need to see, I would say, 33, 35 home runs overall. So we need to see about 6 to 8 home runs the rest of the season for Francisco Lindor, and I think he can do that. I do think he can do that. In the batting average, I mean, he's been great since he's moved to the leadoff spot. Probably been, this is like, I don't know, man. Since he's been in the leadoff spot, he's been one of the best players in the game. He has been. Just fact check me on that. Look at his numbers. Look at his numbers. In his last 25 games, he's hitting .318 with a 902 OPS and 5 home runs. So, Mets, how many games we got left? Let's see. 131 games played already. So we got about 31 games left. We got 31 games left on the year. He's definitely going to get 33, 32 home runs. If he can increase that to 30, 35 on the year. And his batting average, if he's hitting .318 over his last 25 games, if he continues that, and that OPS continues to get well over 850, let's say, on the year. Right now, it's 826. So we got 31 games left. He's got to continue this. He's got to continue this 100%. I think he can do it. He's been doing it well since June. So, Lindor, he's been playing like an MVP all year. Really had a bad 25, 26 games to start the year. And then since then, he's been one of the best players in baseball. And he's right up there with Ohtani thanks to his defense. And in his last 25 games, .318 batting average, 902 OPS, 5 home runs. Compared to Shohei Ohtani's last 25 games, he's the one who's trending upwards. So this is why I'm saying Francisco Lindor is right there with Shohei Ohtani right now. Because Ohtani definitely right now, if the season ended today, he'd win the NL MVP. But in the last 25 games, Lindor, the .318 batting average is much better than Shohei Ohtani's .192 batting average across his last 25 games. Ohtani's OPS over his last 25 games is .767. his 993 OPS. Well, it's probably one of the first times all year that Ohtani's OPS dipped under 1,000. So you got to keep a lookout for that. His batting average dipped below 300 for the first time in a long time as well over this stretch. 9 home runs across the stretch, which is a good number, very good number. But 192 batting average, 767 OPS, that's not good. That's not good, especially compared to Lindor's numbers over his last 25, the 318 batting average, 902 OPS. 4 less home runs from Lindor, yes, but extra base hits are there. The defense is there. And another thing about Lindor, he's on track to play in every single game this season. At shortstop, batting leadoff. So give credit where credit is due. Lindor, I think he definitely has a shot. I think if he finishes with this slash line to end the year, let's say he gets 283 plus batting average, 34 plus home runs, and let's go 102 plus RBIs, 855 plus OPS, and the Mets make the playoffs, Francisco Lindor can 100% take home the MVP award. He's lucky that Ohtani isn't pitching this year, because if Ohtani was pitching this year, it'd be unfortunately wrapped, because Ohtani is having a great year offensively. But Ohtani's offensively in his last 25 games, trending down. Lindor, trending up. So if that continues and the Mets make the playoffs, I think, yes, Lindor can actually win the MVP. And I don't think that's a hot take. I really don't. You can comment if you do, but let me know if you guys think Francisco Lindor has a legit shot at winning the MVP award. I think he does. We'll see over these next 31 games. But Mets got to make the playoffs. Mets have to make the playoffs. And if you ask me, it depends on the offense and the bullpen, because that's what it's been since June. It's been the offense and the bullpen. You know, we need to see David Peterson to continue to have great starts, but the Mets offense, it has been slouching over these last few games. They still are top 10 in runs scored this year. They average 4.8 a game, which is 8th in MLB. Home runs, top 5, 167 on the year. So we need to, and a lot of that's been because of Mark Vientos too. So we need the offense to really get going. Pete Alonso, he's been kind of, I don't know how to analyze his season, because power-wise, Alonso has been good. He's been great. Offensively, 27 home runs on the year, 71 RBIs, 799 OPS. I'd like to see that up a little bit. But then again, he's also a guy who's hitting 245 this year. Last year, he had 217. 2022, that was the best version I think we saw from Alonso. 271 batting average. 271 batting average in 2022. 40 home runs, 131 RBIs. That was the best Alonso. We saw an 870 OPS out of him that year as well. 2021 even, he had a 262 batting average. Much better than a 245. The 863 OPS, much better than 799. And he finished the year with 37 home runs. Alonso as well, he's been durable 100%, but you know, he hasn't really had a single stretch. All 2024, Alonso hasn't had a hot streak. We need a Pete Alonso hot streak if the Mets want to make the playoffs. We could use it. He's due. Pete Alonso is due to go on a tear. We haven't seen it, I would say, since 2022. I need to see a tear that, like, similar to Francisco Lindor, because we know Francisco Lindor is the best player now on the Mets. 100%. But Pete Alonso used to be that guy too. He used to be the undoubtable all-star. He used to be, like in 2022, that 271 batting average, led the MLB in RBIs, tied with Aaron Judge. Like, you could actually make the argument, hey, power-wise, Alonso is up there with some of the game's best. Now, not so much. I mean, Lindor's got 27 home runs, and Lindor, he's doing it when he's batting close to 270. He's been batting over 300 since he's moved to the leadoff spot. Alonso, he hasn't had a good stretch. He hasn't. So if the Mets want to make the playoffs, one way to definitely get there is Pete Alonso getting going. Because if Lindor plays like an MVP the rest of the 31 games, and Alonso gets a hot streak going, the lineup it'll be unstoppable. Because you look at the other guys in the lineup too. Mark Vientos has been playing great. Mark Vientos is having a great season. Let's take a look at Mark Vientos' numbers this year. Only 83 games, but a 277 batting average, 21 home runs on the year, and 885 OPS. He's been one of the best third basemen in baseball. Undoubtedly. Let's take a look. NL third baseman. Home run leaders 2024. So we got NL home run leaders. Why is it not showing me the top home run leaders for third base? I hate stat moves sometimes, and this is one of those times. But Vientos has got to be up there. I mean, he's got 21 home runs on the year and 885 OPS. Vientos is having a great year. This is why we like the MLB. MLB.com. Always clutch. All right, MLB. He's actually tied for fourth among third basemen with 21 home runs. Manny Machado, Jazz Chisholm, Alex Bregman all have 21 home runs. Vientos, we went over it last week on last week's pod, but he's got more home runs than Austin Riley. He's got more home runs than Alec Baum. He's got more home runs than Max Muncy. I mean, these are guys who are sluggers. Let's be real. Matt Chapman, remember when the Met fans wanted the Mets to sign Matt Chapman? Well, he's got a 242 batting average this year and a 764 OPS with 20 home runs and 484 at-bats. Vientos, in 303 at-bats, has 21 home runs. He's got 55 RBIs. So he's got 7 less RBIs in over 180 less at-bats. He's got a better batting average. He's got more home runs. I mean, Vientos has been the guy. He's been the guy. I think he's proven that he could be a cornerstone piece. I mean, if this is it, if this is who Vientos is, this is who Mark Vientos really is. I mean, wow, we finally landed a legit prospect. Because it sucked watching Brett Beatty out. Let's be real. Brett Beatty, the hype around him was, oh, Brett Beatty this, Brett Beatty that. And then even Ronnie Mauricio, it was heartbreaking when he went down with a torn ACL last year. It's like, we can never catch a break. And Francisco Alvarez has been plagued by injuries as well this season. Like, we can't really catch a break with these, at least the young guys as of late. But Mark Vientos, I mean, people were starting to write him off. And since he's been up, he's gotten an opportunity and he's ran with it. And he's been hitting in the top of the order now, hitting second in most of the games. And he's doing great in the 2-hole. He is doing great in the 2-hole. He had a home run on the 25th in the last game in the Mets loss, actually. 3-2 loss. He went 2 for 4 in that game with a home run because he's just a beast. Vientos has been a beast. He also hit a home run against Baltimore. So, yeah, in his last few games, he's been going off. in August. Let's take a look at Vientos' numbers in August. And like I said before, nobody expected Vientos to be doing this. Vientos got 5 home runs this month. He's got 13 RBIs this month. He's playing great. He's playing good. He's playing great. So we do need him. We do need Alonso. We do need Lindor. We need JD Martinez to get going as well because JD Martinez has sucked in August. Cheated, overrated gambler, Ohtani. Bum. Oh, that's some shots thrown at Shohei Ohtani there. Because it was very interesting to see that gambling situation with Ohtani. I'm not going to lie. Makes you wonder if it was him. But he's having a great year. He is. But in his last 25 games, compared to Lindor, I would say Lindor has been the MVP. But then again, you can't win an MVP over playing great your last 25 games. You need to do it all year. Ohtani has been great all year, but he's trending down. Lindor's trending up. Lindor's played elite shortstop. Ohtani hasn't played the field. So Lindor's definitely got a shot down the stretch. Mets got to make the playoffs, though. He's got to get a 280-ish batting average. He's got to get 33, 34 plus home runs. He's got to get at least 105 RBIs. And the Mets got to make the playoffs, like I said before. And for the Mets to make the playoffs, Lindor needs to continue to do the work. We need David Peterson. We need Sean Manaea. We need Luis Severino. We need those 3 guys to continue to have good starts. We need the bullpen. We need Danny Young. We need Sean Reed-Foley to come back and be strong. We need Daniel Nunez to do what he did in his return, 1.2 scoreless innings. We need Edwin Diaz to get back going because he could be the best closer in baseball when he's at his best. We all know that. And you got to give him credit. He has only allowed 3 runs since he returned from his IL stint. So bullpen's got to continue to work. And realistically, I think the most important thing, I think the biggest X factor or possible X factor down the stretch, and I'm not saying Francisco Lindor isn't the best hitter in the lineup and won't be, but I think the biggest possible X factor is Pete Alonso. Because if Pete Alonso starts to hit, like I said before, he has not had a single hot streak all year. He's just been a home run hitter. And the majority of his home runs come with the bases empty. But if he gets going in these last 31 games, if he has a stretch, then the Mets easily will make the playoffs. So I think the biggest possible X factor down this stretch is definitely Pete Alonso. We got to figure out who's going to take that rotation spot for Paul Blackburn and maybe even the rest of the year because he's sucked. 5.18 ERA in 5 starts with the Mets. Get him out of here. Similar to Mark Leiter Jr. with the Yankees. Get him out of here, too. He let up another run tonight, another home run. So he stinks. But the Yankees still won their the last 5. Well, Jesus. Yankees won 5 out of the last 6 games. So they're having a little good run right now. First in the AL East. Baltimore is right there behind him. They actually just had the division like just a few games ago, but Yankees they're playing great. They're playing great, so you got to give them credit. They need to continue to do that. Juan Soto, though, hasn't been great. He was hitless tonight, batting 200 in his last 5 games. But overall on the year, you would kind of got to say he's having his best year of his career. 37 home runs, 95 RBIs, 296 batting average, OPS 1.027. That's ridiculous. Right up there with Aaron Judge's OPS. Judge on the year, 333 batting average, 51 home runs, 1.197 OPS, 122 RBIs. He hits 50 home runs just last week for the 3rd time in his MLB career. Judge has been great. He had his 1,000th career hit today. Judge, I mean, he's the MVP. The season could end today for him, and he would take home the AL MVP award. He's the best hitter in baseball. And I'd say he's even having a better season than he did in 2022. The Yankees, how many games do they got left? Let's see. Yankees got 30 games left. So he's got 30 games to hit 11 home runs, and he can tie that record. But 2022 Aaron Judge was ridiculous. 62 home runs for Aaron Judge in 2022. But this year, the stretch he's been on is just insane. Let's go over his 2022 numbers before we dive into how he's actually having a better year. So we had a 425 on-base percentage in 2022 with a 1.11 OPS, 311 batting average. In 2024 right now, he's got a 333 batting average, so 23 points higher, a 465 on-base percentage compared to a 425, 40 points higher there. 1.201 OPS compared to that 1.019 OPS. Judge, man. And then also, 1.11 OPS in 2022. RBI-wise, he's right there. 131 RBIs in 2022. He's already got 122 RBIs this season. And he's already got 51 home runs, that 333 batting average. Aaron Judge, I'd say he's having a better year than he did in 2022. And let's go over this stretch. Aaron Judge stats in his last, let's go 75 games, because he really has been different. In his last 75 games, he's hitting 372, 99 hits across those 75 games, 34 home runs, 83 RBIs, 67 runs scored. Aaron Judge is insane. He is easily the best hitter in baseball. I would say best player. Like today, he proved that. Today, in today's game, he robbed that home run. Even though he was 1 for 4 today, he's the reason. You take him off the Yankees. The Yankees, are they in the playoff race? Because he's also the reason that Juan Soto is having a great year. Juan Soto is having a great year because he's hitting in front of Aaron Judge. And Aaron Judge, over his last 75 games, 1.313 OPS. That's unthinkable. 372 batting average, 99 hits, 34 home runs, 83 RBIs. Yankees got 30 games left. He's got 51 home runs, just 11 away from the 62 that he hit in 2022. I think he can actually get there if he continues this stretch. That's insane. Hitting 372 across a 75-game stretch, hitting that many home runs. This guy is the best player in baseball, undoubtedly. Like we talk for the last few years, we've talked about Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, even Christian Yelich a few years ago was thrown in there when he was having phenomenal seasons. But realistically, who is the best player in baseball? Is it Shohei Ohtani? No. It is Aaron Judge. Because you look at Ohtani over his last 25 games, he's hitting 192. You look at Aaron Judge over his last 75 games, he's hitting 372 while hitting 34 homers. This guy is definitely the best player in baseball, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And the Yankees are where they are right now because of Aaron Judge. Because of Aaron Judge. And their offense has been phenomenal all year. It has been. And it's got to continue to stay phenomenal. Because you look at the Yankees offense this year. Let's take a look at the Yankees offense. With a 5-2 win over the Washington Nationals. Hopefully they can keep beating up on the Nationals, because that would be good for the record, good for the standings. Little 2-game winning streak right now, 6-4 across their last 10. But you look at their numbers overall, they're second in runs scored. So everybody's like, oh, Yankees offense. That's because, Yankees fans are insane. And they literally don't think the Yankees are one of the best teams in baseball. Meanwhile, look at their record. It says they are. They're one of the best teams in the American League. So second in MLB in runs this year with 5.1 per game. Top 15 with 8.4 hits per game. On base percentage, 335, first in the entire MLB. OPS first with a 775. That's probably thanks to Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. First with 203 home runs in MLB. So they win by the home run ball. I mean, they had 3 home runs today. Jazz Chisholm hit his 8th home run as a Yankee today. Also, Austin Wells, man, having a great year as well with the Yankees. He hit a home run tonight as well. So the Yankees, the home run ball is what got the job done tonight. And it's been what's getting the job done for them all year with that over 200 home runs this year. That's insane. That's insane. And there's still 30 games left. So the Yankees are doing unthinkable things. But pitching-wise, 7th in runs allowed, 4.1 per game. So that's got to improve. Earlier in the year, the Yankees pitching was great. But tonight, Nestor Cortez, 6.2 innings pitched, 1 earned run allowed, only 4 hits allowed. So he had a great game. But then again, it's against Washington. But he did have a great game against Cleveland as well. So in his last 3 starts, he's only allowed 1 earned run. So Nestor Cortez, 1 earned run across his last 20 innings, 20.2 innings actually. So Nestor Cortez is doing good. He's doing pretty good. And so is Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is having a great stretch right now. In his last 4 starts, he's 2-1 with a 1.17 ERA, 24 strikeouts. And actually 8 out of his 11 starts this year, even though his numbers overall are not Garrett Cole numbers, but 8 out of his 11 starts this year, 2 earned runs or less. So Cole is there. Also, Carlos Rodon, I mean, he's winning games somehow. I don't know how, but, he's getting paid a lot of money. I've said it all year long. He's got to get going at some point, like consistently. But Marcus Stroman, I mean, he ain't doing too shabby this year either. Overall in the year, 9-6, 3.88 ERA. His most recent start against Colorado, he led up 3 earned runs. Walks killed him. He had 3 walks. But he did get the win. Before Colorado, he had to start against Detroit. 6 innings, 4 hits allowed, no runs allowed. So his last 3 starts, only 4 runs allowed. So Stroman's doing good. The overall, the rotation is actually getting going. It is getting going. The bullpen, definitely questionable. Clay Holmes still has the most blown saves in the entire MLB this year. So that does have to change. But I think if Aaron Boone can actually manage the bullpen well, because the Yankees do have good options in the bullpen. Jay Cousins, we saw tonight. He was another phenomenal performance tonight. 1.8 ERA right now in 27 games for the Yankees this year. I mean, he's doing great. And then you look at the other guys in the bullpen. Tommy Kahnle he's been having a great year all year long. Like, we definitely do got to see more of him. We've seen a lot of him, 39 games this year, 1.57 ERA. So we got to see more of Tommy Kahnle. I'd say even Clay Holmes, putting him in the game tonight, that was good. It's a low pressure spot, but in high pressure spots, I would not rely on Tommy Kahnle. I mean, I would not rely on Clay Holmes. I would rely on guys like Tommy Kahnle, like even maybe Jay Cousins, because why not? I mean, I know this is not usually what he does. I mean, but he's 30 years old and it's his 4th year in the league. He's having a great year, though, so ride it. Let's see it. Ride it. Do what you got to do. But you got some other options in the pen as well. You do. Ron Marciano in 14 games this year. He's got a 2.53 ERA. He hasn't pitched since August 10th, though. So I don't know why we're not seeing him at all. But yeah, Yankees do have options in the bullpen. It's just, can Aaron Boone put the right guys in the right spots? Like Mark Leiter, why is he still getting opportunities? Can someone explain that to me? Because he's still a 5.91 ERA in 10.2 innings. 7 earned runs allowed in those 10.2 innings. And against Washington tonight, 0.2 innings, allows a home run. Like, he can't catch a break. Yankees bullpen can't catch a break either, but the offense, like I said, it's been doing great thanks to Aaron Judge. I would say he is having a better season right now than 2022. So he's having a great year. Juan Soto, we definitely need to see him step it up. I think he will step it up. I mean, across the last 5 games, though, he is hitting 200, so you definitely got to be a little worried, but he's going to get going. He's going to get going. Maybe a little slump, and then he gets going right at the right time, right for playoffs. So Jazz Chisholm Jr., he's, I guess, having a good return now. Hits the home run today at a very important spot in the 8th inning. Probably some locked up the game for the Yankees. Now he's got 8 home runs overall in the year with the Yankees. So now that he's back, that third base spot locked up, sealed. You don't got to worry about it because let's be real. In this lineup, Jazz Chisholm, I think you got to move him up in the order. Like, move him up in the order. He's got some pop. Got to give him an opportunity. Take advantage of the fact that you have Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. Gleyber Torres, he's been great in August. 296 batting average, 778 OPS. So keep him in the leadoff spot. And then Soto and then Judge. But I would consider moving Jazz Chisholm maybe even behind Judge. Austin Wells, you got to keep him in the top. I'd say the top 6 as well. His home run tonight basically sums up the year he's been having. He's been an unexpected beast for the Yankees behind the dish and at the plate. So, yeah, Yankees, they're living and dying by the home run ball. When they hit home runs, they win. When they hit home runs, they win. Over 200 on the year overall for the Yankees. First in baseball. Aaron Judge got 51 of those. So he's got over 25% of the Yankees' home runs. Or close to 25%, I should say. Aaron Judge has close to 25% of the Yankees' home runs this year. That's insane. And Soto too, 37 home runs in the year, so you got to give him credit too. But Volpe, let's talk Volpe. Because Anthony Volpe, 3 for 4 in today's win. So you got to give him credit in today's win. Let's see what he did. Volpe 3 for 4. Scored twice. Got a stolen base as well. Batting average now up to 250 on the year. OPS of 690. That's not that good. 690 OPS for Volpe on the year. That's not too good. Listen, Anthony Volpe has for sure been struggling. I mean, he's definitely Aaron Boone's favorite player. He's definitely the manager's pet. And he's going to continue to get opportunities. But you got to be worried if you're a Yankees fan. Anthony Volpe is definitely struggling. I mean, we see just in Queens, Mark Vientos. He's having a great year. Francisco Alvarez, he had a great year last year. I mean, yeah, I'm still a little worried about him this year, but I mean, Anthony Volpe, you got to be worried, man. Anthony Volpe, let's go. Stats in his last, what do we want to do? Let's go 50 games because really he had a good first month and a half, and that's really it. His last 50 games, he's hitting 224 with only 5 home runs, 19 RBIs. His OPS in those last 50 games is terrible. His OPS is 627. So Volpe, across his last 50 games, he's sucked. He's a guy that needs to get going because when the Yankees were at their best in the beginning of the year, it was Volpe, Judge, and Soto. And now with Jazz Chisholm kind of showing like today's game, hitting that home run there in the important spot, he could be a main factor in this Yankees lineup. So if Volpe gets going and you have Volpe, Soto, Judge, Stanton, Austin Wells, Jazz Chisholm, I mean, that's a great lineup. That's a great lineup. Stanton, he's having a pretty good year. You got to give him credit. 800 OPS. He's got 23 home runs on the year. 57 RBIs. Hit a home run in 3 straight games against Cleveland and then twice against Colorado. So Stanton, I mean, even though he went 0 for 5 today, I mean, he's a threat, dude. He is a legit threat. So the Yankees, I mean, you got 3 of the best power hitters in the American League in the middle of that lineup. You got Chaz Chisholm now, too, as well back. And he's showing that he could be a serious factor in this lineup. If Volpe gets going, well, then that definitely gives the Yankees the best lineup in baseball. Arguably, they already do. Austin Wells is proven he's no dud either. He's got 10 home runs on the year now with that home run tonight against Washington. So the Yankees, I'd say they're putting themselves back in the conversation as one of the best teams in the MLB. They got to continue what they've been doing. The bullpen needs to figure things out. Clay Holmes specifically needs to figure things out. Aaron Boone needs to figure things out with the bullpen as well. But Jay Cousins, he's been great, 1.8 ERA. He had another great appearance tonight. So you got guys like Tommy Canley as well. So you got guys in the bullpen that give you confidence. But at the end of the day, the biggest guy, Clay Holmes, he's been the one struggling. So got to take a look at that. But Yankees overall, I think, if their rotation holds up, if Nestor Cortez has starts like he did tonight, then I definitely think that the Yankees can take this division home and they can do work in the postseason. Maybe even win a World Series. I've said it all year. I think the Yankees will win the World Series. And I still want to think that. Because I want to hold true to my word from the beginning of the year. I want to actually ride this pick. So I do believe the Yankees will still win the World Series, and they're showing me that they could. Because they got Judge, they got Soto, and they got Garrett Cole, who in his last 4 starts, 1.17 ERA. Like I said before, 8 of his 11 starts this year, he's allowed 2 or less runs. So Cole, he's still an ace. Judge, best player in baseball, robbed that home run tonight. That was insane. And then threw the runner out at first. He's definitely the MVP. Probably going to be a 2-time MVP at the end of this year. Yankees, if they lock up the AL East, I'd say they definitely have a shot at, yes, the World Series. All right, we're going to talk some football next week because we are going to get underway with the regular season very soon. The Giants and the Jets just had their preseason battle. Aaron Rodgers sat that one out. We saw a lot of Tommy DeVito, and it wasn't too great. So definitely concerning, but the Jets got the job done in a low-scoring battle. Their defense looked phenomenal, so I do want to talk Jets and Giants next week. But thank you for all you guys watching, whether you're on X, whether you're on YouTube. Please make sure, though, that you do head over to YouTube, support the channel, hit subscribe, maybe even like this video if you did like the pod. But, yeah, I really do appreciate you guys for sticking around. Stick with me. We'll be back next Monday and maybe even earlier. Who knows? Who knows? If there's some breaking news, if there's some breaking stories. But, yeah, I definitely do want to talk Knicks, too, sometime. But, I've been big on baseball definitely this summer. I mean, the Mets and the Yankees both in tight playoff races. So we're going to definitely continue to talk a lot of Mets and Yankees going down the stretch this summer. But listen, basketball, it's inching closer. The Knicks, they're definitely finals contenders. The Jets, they're Super Bowl contenders. The Yankees, they're World Series contenders. Even the Rangers, they're Stanley Cup contenders. So New York sports is on freaking fire. It's never been a better time to be a New York sports fan. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want updates on all the teams. And make sure you go check out my FanSided page because I do write predominantly New York sports. Every now and then I branch out, but make sure you go check out that FanSided author page right in the description on YouTube. Thanks, guys. Love you. See you next week. Thanks for watching episode 61.